So evening everybody. It's great to see so many of you that have joined us. I kind of say this quite regularly, but I can see the sunshine out of that side of my view. So it's brilliant when so many people give up their evening sunshine to come and listen to our webinars. We've been, like every one of you, working really hard to kind of adapt what we do and take what would have been a lot of face-to-face activity into the online world. So it has been a really, really quick and then an incredibly long lockdown, hasn't it? And we have got a really good programme of webinars. So we do 4 webinars a week, and we start off on a Tuesday with a coffee and a virtual cake networking session. So you're responsible for your own cake, and it's brilliant actually to see so many people baking. So there's been a lot of that going on, but Tuesday afternoon sees us network, and today we had a really interesting session where people were talking about what has been happening with them, but also what support they might be looking for as we begin to unwind from lockdown. We've obviously got an announcement coming from Scottish Government on Thursday this week about what the roadmap is going to look like. And the Chamber has been talking to local and national government about what support business needs. So every time we hear something from a business that we think needs raised with governments, then we're doing that. So we're talking regularly with the local authorities in this region, and hearing how well they're getting on with paying out the grant funding, how the self-employed hardship fund is going, and a number of other interventions that they've got. So they have been working really hard to get that money to people as quickly as possible. But we're also hearing that the uptake in some of that hasn't been maximised as much as everybody thought. So, there are some people that may still have to access that newly self-employed fund, or if you can get some of that grant funding that's to do with your rates relief or your rateable value, then please have another look at that and go and get that, because that's the kind of support that people need to get their working capital going and for you to carry on doing what you're doing. So and this week we took part as part of the Scottish Chamber network in a meeting with Jamie Hepburn, where we were talking about the government's plans, and I was particularly asking about some of the recovery sector-based plans, because the government we've seen UK government come out with advice and guidance, and that doesn't all apply to what happens in other parts of the UK. So it's important that Scotland gets to know what the guidance is going to be. We're all almost waiting for that guidance, and we're creating our own plans, but you still want to know what they're going to say about your sector. And construction guidance is out and is being further developed, and retail and manufacturing is really imminent as the next sectors. But the rest of us need to kind of understand, do I need PPE for our staff? Do we have to get perspex screens? And actually you can see that a number of businesses down south are just saying, I know that we've been told we can reopen, but I'm going to pause because I need to talk to my workforce, and that's equally important. And today's webinar, obviously Tuesday evenings, are about a guide to, and we've done a number of different things: a guide to cash flow, a guide to Teams and using Teams for your business. So lots of really interesting different things going on, and a lot of that delivered by members, which is exactly what we've got tonight. It's Mental Health Awareness Week, and tomorrow our Take a Break webinar is all about mental health and using green spaces and how we can all access green spaces to look after ourselves. So our Wednesday programme is all about supporting people, and then on a Thursday it's about support for business, and this week we're actually talking about R&D tax relief. So this is the time for us all to be looking at how you can develop your business, and whether you want to access research and development and actually take access to some of that tax relief that's available for you to offset the costs of that. So lots of interesting things, lots of interesting topics have been delivered, and Sarah's been doing a really good job of getting the webinar programme going. So if you've got something that you feel you could input to that programme, then give Sarah a shout, I know she's always interested in making sure we're giving members the best opportunity to tell their stories. So I think that's enough for me. I'm going to get out of the way and let Anthony and Daniel do their thing. So I'm going to hand over to Anthony first. When I can hear him and he's unmuted, then I'll get out of the way and he can hand over to Daniel, and then Sarah will look after questions. So over to you.
Perfect. Sounds good. Can you hear me okay?
Sure can. Thank you.
Fantastic. Okay. So I'll just start sharing my screen. Okay. Hello, everyone. So thanks very much for having me along this evening. Thanks for coming along to our chat this morning that Daniel and I will take you through in terms of building an online business. So I will start off and I'll give you a little bit of background about myself. So as mentioned, my name's Anthony Brennan. I head up the team, the business development team, MTC. You'll probably pick up from my accent, I'm not a native to Dundee. I'm originally from the West Coast. I moved to Dundee in 2003. My career has taken me from working for Europe's largest training company for many years, for around 10 years. I also worked over in Houston for a while, and for the last 3 years I've been here at MTC. I've always worked in technology. However, I'm actually not a tech. I'm a kind of geek at heart. However, when it comes to the matrix, the coding and things like that, yeah, I pass that on to much more intelligent people than myself. So a little bit about MTC. We're a Scottish company and incredibly proud to be a Scottish company, but incredibly proud to have our headquarters here in Dundee. Just on topic for tonight, Dundee is very significant to us in the sense that we are at the heart of Scotland's technology capital. So with a great University of Abertay, world renowned for technology, and the University of Dundee, the college, etc., we couldn't be in a better place. MTC, we've got 120 members of staff. So in fact, 123 members of staff. So right now we've got 123 offices up and down the country with everyone working at home. We've been around 20 years, which isn't long. However, in the world of web, it's probably right there from the start. And one of our key accolades is that we're a top 20 digital agency awarded by Google. So there's around 3,000 businesses do what we do in the UK. And Google have awarded us as a partner in the top 20. So MTC will work with some top brands, some that you may recognise here from the likes of Innocent Gun, Powder, Brewdog, Peter Vardy, Umbro, etc. However, right at the heart of our business is the community that surrounds us. So many of the members here that you'll see that are members of the Dundee and Angus Chambers of Commerce are very significant to us. So I'm pretty confident, I'm actually sure that we've got many more clients that are members of the Chamber. And sorry if I've missed you out if you're here this evening, but I would also like to say thank you for the Chamber to have us here discussing our topics this evening too. So at the kind of crux of what I wanted to discuss tonight, or what Daniel and I wanted to discuss tonight, was about building your business online. And when I spoke to Sarah and Alison right at the start in terms of what are we going to speak about, a quotation that just came out that day kind of really struck a chord with me. And it's in front of us here, and I know it was in the kind of overview of tonight, but one of the things that I've learned during this period is companies who really use technology have been better positioned to weather the storm. And that was made by the general manager of Visa based over in China. So obviously China is at a different kind of phase of the COVID crisis. Like they're past what we are, and obviously they're on a different road to recovery from where we are. But I think this is like quite a key kind of statement here, and why I think it's really key is that I believe it's true, but also we've kind of seen something similar in the past. Obviously, during 2008, the financial crisis, clearly this is two different kind of like worlds apart, what we're dealing with here, but there's a lot of lessons to be learned from 2008, where we started to see a lot of businesses change, massive moves to digital during that time. We've seen businesses who didn't adapt, such as Woolworths, obviously go out of business. Businesses who did adapt, one of mention that I always like mention is Domino's Pizza. Domino's Pizza were second or third in the market at that time, particularly behind Pizza Hut, but made a massive move to digital at that point. And right now, Domino's is actually the number one pizza takeaway in the UK, and a Domino's pizza is ordered online every 3 seconds in the UK. But ultimately what we're talking about here is customers' thinkings. Like they didn't change. They've always kind of like, well, the customers' thinking did change, but businesses who listened and changed were born out of these times and are better positioned to weather the storm. So in terms of building businesses online, we're seeing a massive change in businesses embracing like new technologies or just technology in general. We've seen things such as like research from Google saying that 1 in 3 people are trying new brands during this time. That's because they're getting their voices out there and heard, because right now you've got nothing more time than a captive audience right in front of you. So I'm going to talk about some of the things in terms of building a business online, and I'll go to some of the basics to start off with. And forgive me if you kind of know all these things, but I'll try and make it as like simple as possible. But we'll talk about platforms here. So when you're building a business online, platform is really, really key. There's many platforms out there. You've got the likes of open source such as WordPress, Joomla, Drupal, Magento, BigCommerce, Shopify, and NTC. We've got our own platform as well. And why it's really significant for you is that it needs to, whatever platform you select, needs to be ready for the challenges in the business you have today, but also the challenges in what the business will be later on down the line. So what we're seeing and what we're having conversations with clients around is, what will your business look like in 6 months down the road when we're possibly in a out of lockdown situation at this point? How will your business online quickly adapt to that, and how can we enable that to actually happen to you? The kind of key thing here as well is that these open source platforms, they're phenomenal. Like, we're a big advocate of them. They're very much like building a house. Ultimately, anybody can build a house, but we really believe that you're best leaving it to experienced ultimately experienced professionals to do that for you and get the most out of these technologies for you. That then takes us on to feature sets. So more and more we're seeing clients like embrace different feature sets for their website, and you've got kind of like two different types of customer or two kind of online businesses right now. You've either got new businesses that are coming online, or if you're an existing business, how is your online platform changing? So as mentioned, we've got a lot of customers embracing new technologies, and MTC as a business, we've invested heavily in developing new technologies. I'm not sure if anyone's aware, but there's 2 brands that we have, one called Hunger and one called Snappy Shopper. Hunger, I would just like to touch upon. So Hunger is an online application that allows businesses, takeaways, restaurants to be able to be in the hands of their customers. So to be able to order online through an iOS or an Android app from the comfort of their home. So basically we're talking about the realms of Just Eat takeaway, but driving that loyalty as it's a white labeled app for that customer, for that business. One of the things here is that how things have changed during COVID is that application was actually built for the takeaway industry. However, we're seeing it more and more being embraced by different industries. So where it's being embraced alternatively is in the hospitality industry. So we've been in contact with a lot of hotels over the application, where they want to use it for things like room service. care homes, that's been a big one for us as well. So to be able to, during COVID, be able to order patient meals, or sorry, not patient meals, for residents' meals, but again, actually patients, in the sense that we do have some hospitals that we're in contact with as well, where they're wanting to keep social distancing apart from the patients and allow them to order the meals in a safe way as well. So when we're talking about features, we need to be talking about trends as well, in terms of how are individuals thinking and what has COVID actually done that means that we as businesses need to be acting differently during this time. Marketing, and I know Daniel's going to come on and speak more about marketing, but it kind of loops us back round to everything. So marketing's key, and we would always stress that businesses never forget about marketing during this time. As I said at the start, you'll never have more of a captive audience right now than everyone is glued to their mobile phones or their computers round the clock right now. Travel time is dramatically down. So individuals, businesses are more and more online. So this is a key opportunity for you to embrace. But that loops us back round to what businesses are doing differently and understanding trends as well. So what we're doing with our customers is understanding how searches are completely changing, the way people are searching and what they're searching for. So we've got a lot of clients right now that we're helping changing their marketing output, such as golf resorts and golf experiences, where their main kind of route to market would be the Australasia or the American bases. However, due to those markets being shut off for them, the search in UK holidays and UK experiences are absolutely booming right now. Obviously, we're in lockdown. However, we predict massive shifts in these industries. That's the exact same for things like home improvements. Unfortunately or fortunately, we're all stuck indoors right now, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people want to change things in their homes. So things like home improvements are massively on people's hit list in terms of what they're searching, and actually moving houses as well. So we're speaking to it's a service base at the end of the day, an estate agency who are now looking at the future of being able to buy and rent properties purely online. When we think about how the market's changed over the years, and I'll go into a case study shortly, that is in the kind of market roadmap within the next 10 years, and other things to do with home life as well, such as home baking, etc., are really, really popular. So a couple of case studies in terms of how we've seen some of our clients embrace technology during this COVID time and kind of pivoted during the time. You may be familiar, or if not, RG Dance Studio. So it's a small local dance studio that basically was run by an individual, and when COVID hit, the lockdown hit, her business was pretty much dead in the water, to say the least, that she wasn't able to get in front of her clients. Her clients weren't able to get in front of her, etc. So she came to MTC and basically asked the question, how do I change my business? What we've been able to do for her is build quite rapidly a subscription-based service where she can upload videos, upload one-to-one contact and Zoom team videos, etc., with her current clients, but put them on a subscription basis where she's got that recurring revenue coming back in, while at the same time she doesn't have the overheads that her dance studio had before. So actually she's turned this massive challenge actually into a massive kind of plus for her business right now. What has also happened out of this is she had around 40 students in her dance class. She was able to convert all of them into subscriptions. So she's still got all her clients, but she's actually gaining more clients during this time. Again, because of this massive impact it's had, it has created an opportunity to engage with people out with her catchment zone. So individuals throughout the United Kingdom, are coming online and saying, well, yeah, this is the time to try something new. I'm in the comfort of my own home, and she's able to reach them, whereas she was never able to reach them like prior to COVID. We're also speaking to her about how this will complement her business after lockdown is completed. So she'll be able to continue this service, but use it as an added plus to her customers who do come into the dance studios, to be able to look back at routines and other videos that she'll be able to harness and host there. BrewDog, we're working with them. You may have seen or heard of the BrewDog app that's out right now. It's called BrewDog Now, or was formerly known as BrewDog Hot Drop. So where they're pivoting is they're focusing on post-COVID. So right now they are able to deliver food and beer to people's homes so they can continuously still service their clients. However, what they're seeing as in post like lockdown, and I think they've just opened up their German operations or their German pubs. Sorry, this picture doesn't really show the perspex glass above the seats there, is that you'll be able to come into their pubs in future, go straight to a booth that's going to be obviously completely wiped down, like sanitized, etc. However, you won't be able, well, you will be able to leave the booth, but you won't have to leave the booth. You'll be able to use your mobile phone sitting at the table to order your drinks. They'll come along and they'll be using things like boards, etc., to be able to hand over the drinks, so they're completely contactless for customers. So being able to service their clients in a contactless way. So again, really like changing their business model. That's going to help them with things like going cashless, etc. Quite a lot of their bars around the world are already cashless. They'll be moving completely to cashless in the UK quite soon, from what we understand. Finally, Peter Vardy. We built a solution with them, and not only are Peter Vardy using it, but several other car dealerships throughout the United Kingdom are using it. It's a solution that we've created with them called Silver Bullet. This is enabling you to purchase a car from the comfort of your home. You're probably thinking, well, why would people want to buy a car at this time? People are still buying cars at this time. Peter Vardy are selling on average around 20 cars per day online right now during COVID. However, before COVID actually started, they foreseen them doubling their revenue, their turnover, with actually online sales. So they'll never get rid of they've made a promise that they'll never get rid of their car showrooms. They'll be able to complement the marketplace by offering to purchase a car from home. So again, what we're thinking about in terms of trends, etc., is how are people thinking differently? We do have a whole generation who are fully online, glued to their phones, and don't really want to speak to people in a car showroom, etc., or make appointments and the likes. It will be how we can complement businesses, not compete with what they're doing, but be able to complement their businesses during this time. That will hopefully enable businesses to weather this storm that we're facing during COVID. So hopefully that's taken me on nicely to handing over to Daniel at this point. I thank you for your time, for listening to me here. I know I've went over a couple of things in terms of what businesses are doing differently, etc., and some of the trends there. If you have any questions, can't wait to answer them. But my email address was at the start of the presentation. I know will be on the video. Feel free to get in contact with myself, MTC, at any time. Thank you.
Thanks, Anthony. Can you guys see my presentation okay? Yeah. Yep. Well, thanks, Annie. Thanks, Annie, for that. So my name is Daniel Rosie. I'm the Managing Director of DLR Media. We're a marketing and communications company based in Dundee, also down beside City Key, along next to MTC now. A bit of background on MTC and ourselves. So we work very closely with MTC as our digital and web partners. We focus a lot more on a social marketing and a communications offering, and the guys at MTCs focus on web, digital, and the tech offering. So the partnership works very well, and it allows us to offer our clients an end-to-end service from online web all the way through to marketing. A bit of background about us in DLR Media. So we're a marketing communications company. There's a team, team of 9 of us, currently all working remotely throughout kind of Tayside. We have a range of clients from all the way from oil and gas companies in Aberdeen through to sports teams, through to product online businesses, a total mix. One of our key specialities is service-based businesses as opposed to product-based businesses, which is another complementary aspect with MTC's e-commerce and product-based knowledge. We've been finding a lot of times the last 2 to 3 weeks and kind of months, we've been the first month when we did our first presentation was all based on crisis communications and how to communicate during that first initial period. We're finding we've done it into 3 phases with clients. We've done phase 1, which was the crisis communications piece, how to communicate with your existing clients, your staff, your employees, your subcontractors. Now we're on to phase 2 with a lot of clients, existing and new, which is kind of looking ahead of the game. So it's starting to see how can they continue to trade, and also looking ahead. So it's what can we do just now for quick wins, but also looking ahead and at the future of how when potentially their staff come back off furlough, business starts to operate again, how can we keep the pipeline and the business operational? What I'm going to do is kind of follow on from Anthony just now. Our 4 main service areas kind of cover 4 main areas, which is branding and graphic design, PR and communications, which is traditional and digital, and we also have a crisis communications offering. Social media and content, so we do organic, paid, and also we have a content team which involves photographers, videographers, drone, time-lapse, and also our new 360 video. And our 4th package is our marketing support and strategy, where members of our team work with all the way from small one-man band businesses all the way up to large 20, 25 million pound turnover businesses, and work with them on their full marketing strategies, but also help them with marketing support. Some of the smaller clients can use us for work as an outsourced marketing manager or director, and some of our bigger clients use a bank of hours across a bit of a drone video, a bit of graphic design, and then a bit of PR support each month. So kind of following on from where Anthony came from, we work very closely with the team at MTC and with our clients and also some of theirs when building websites and helping businesses go online. So the part I wanted to touch on was how to populate in the content side of a website, which sometimes can be, for a client's perspective, can be the longest time and the main thing that can delay a site and a business going online. Content is kind of key and king to your marketing, but also your web at the start and that process. So we always say, and we suggest to clients, that website planning and preparation is key. We want to work, and yourselves want to work with the guys at MTC straight at the start. Look at your site map, start planning your call to action straight from the start. What do you want that page to do? What do you want the outcome to be? Also, it's worth thinking about, are you going to do your content in-house? Or are you going to do it externally with an agency like ourselves? Or are you going to do a bit of both? We've had clients that then separate that into people in their team who have product knowledge in areas, but then collectively it comes back into us at the end, and our copywriters will proofread and give it a tone of voice. Make sure you set time aside. Content can be a lot time consuming. You don't realise till you start to type it. And also, do you have a content project manager in-house? Do you have somebody that's going to take control and make sure that website's populated? This could be for a service-based business or a product-based business. And especially if you're not a business that's already fully online, it's going to be it's going to be quite a big challenge to populate and find all these products. Potentially you've not had them actually typed up and ready to go onto an online system. The next kind of stage is your content development. So that's looking at a suggestion. A top tip we always say to clients is make a template. Just make it simple in words. Just make a table with title, subtitle, how that's going to be laid out, what sections you'll, about the product, about us, why choose us, call to action. If you follow that, every service page will then have a consistent theme and also follow the same process. It helps clients quite a lot, and especially on a bigger team where there might be multiple people populating content, it keeps a consistent theme throughout. Another key thing is when building your website is to review your key messaging. What is your key messaging offline and how's that going to go online? How are you going to portray that into the content, but also the design of the site? Another key thing to think about is your tone of voice, and also do you have guidelines, do you have brand guidelines that represent your tone of voice and what things? It could be as simple as, do you have the number 30 or do you spell the number 30? Is your company a first person or third person? So there's a lot of tips that we, with clients, we've got a 2-page document that kind of talks them through top tips of things they can decide. Another thing to work out as well is figure out keywords as well. That's kind of a separate thing later on once the site's been developed, and the specialist team MTC help you with the SEO perspective, but also have a think and ask them, you know, can you give us the top 5 or 10 keywords, and we'll make sure we include this in our content. Also, if it's a B2B service, we found with some of our B2B clients that technical terms, you know, is there technical terms that potentially somebody that's building the site or a marketing person within the business that hasn't got a technical knowledge to the extent of some of the specialists in the business. Find out from some of the specialists in the business what are the technical terms that potentially people might search or look for, or is that the right wording? So there's sometimes little things, just having a round table with people. Design. So at the start of design, before at that kind of preparation stage of the website, work with the designer and the web designer to figure out what photography are we going to need, what photos would you require, and we always say get a bank of images, and get 50, 60 taken that can be used as part of the design process. The more images the designer has, the more personalised your site's going to be. Also, it's worth key things to think about. Are you going to have a meet the team page? If it's a meet the team page, we always say when you're planning your photography, plan it in line with your site design and just pick things off and make sure you have an image for every single section. Likewise, meet the team, your headshots. That's a quick overview of our top tips, quickly kind of following on from Anthony's conversation of kind of taking your business online and onto a web platform. That's our top tips from a content perspective. The next bit I'm kind of going to cover is kind of some marketing. This is all can be used for existing businesses that are online and businesses that have never been online before. A lot of these complement after the online platform. And as we always say, what you're trying to do is build a shop window. You're building a shop window online. But the brilliant thing with marketing is your shop window offline might be in Forfar, we'll say, and you only have so much customers that will walk past Forfar High Street. The joys of online is you can take that anywhere. You can have that in St Andrews, you can have it in Glasgow. Your shop window can be anywhere, and you've got control of how much demand you can push through that shop. So a quick overview of kind of how we've been working with clients. Like I said, to start with, we were doing a kind of phased approach. So to start with, it was all crisis communications. It was communicating with their clients, employees, subcontractors, opening hours, how they're working remotely. And I'm happy to send over the slides for that after as well, if anybody would like them. Now we're into phase 2 with clients, and this is kind of how we're looking at it. We're looking at them, how's their customer journey experience? How's that taken online? So a customer journey offline and a customer journey online may be different, but it's also working with your sales team to figure out, well, what details do they require to help process and help that sale go through. So we were saying to clients, a lot of times it went from being proactive, we had 6 to 12 month campaigns planned in, to being reactive, to overnight having to change them, new and old. But we're now saying to clients as well, take this as an opportunity, think as positive as you can, and take this as an opportunity to really think about now for the quick wins. We're doing little small marketing plans with 1 pages, a couple of bullet points to say, here's some quick wins to help you continue to generate. And like Anthony's given some great examples there of how they're helping businesses also to continue to get revenue in the door during this time, but also look ahead of the game. So we might, with clients, we're working them on weekly and monthly plans to help them during this time, but we're also starting to, this second phase of what we're looking with clients is looking at a proactive planning. So we're looking at this as a kind of an opportunity for some businesses to get ahead of their competition. So as soon as lockdown ends and it starts to open up, they've been working ahead. They're a month, 2 months advanced and ahead. They've got a pipeline of work and they're ready to go. Use the time to your advantage. Use your team's time. Come up with new concepts, new ideas, but also look at how that's working. And when I was kind of doing my presentation, it was a quick thing I came up with. I thought it's not what you sell. What you sell will never change, and that's not going to change. It's how you're selling it, and that's what we need to really look at from during this situation. What you sell may still be the same, but it's how we go that to market, how we sell. So a key example is some points that we're doing and that we're working with clients on organic social media. So that's the social media management, social media content. So initially to start with, and if you haven't, we always said soften your messaging. Understand the situation, have some empathy towards it. Show things that you are still open, that you're closed physically but open digitally. Think about FAQs and current clients or future clients, kind of questions they may have. Have a very communications focus, so keep them in, let them know what's happening. We've also done a lot of content between staff working from home, taking images, pictures of them with a bit about them, what they're up to, here's them with their dog. Just little things to soften that message, to say we're still here if you need us, and here's how to contact us. We've also worked with clients on virtual and online consultations and how they can kind of take the process online, and also what is required. So we've had a joinery company that can still quote, and they've got their surveyors ready to go. But looking at that, going, well, what do they need? Because before they had to go to their house and survey the house, get measurements, go back with a quote and propose. So now we're able to do that and automate that process. So now we can take their leads in, prospect the client, see if they're interested. The client then gets sent some FAQs, a little welcome video from the owner, send their measurements, send them back some pictures, and it's all done via Facebook Messenger. Then the surveyor's got everything they require to go back with a quote and then have a virtual consultation. So for some clients, it's actually been really beneficial. We've had one that used to spend all day going to different houses and different jobs to then find out they weren't qualified. It was too expensive, they weren't interested in that aspect. Whereas now, when it's landing on the surveyor's desks, it's very much qualified and ready to go. We're also suggesting that clients be quite community focused, so shout about what you're doing in the community, but also do some competitions and interactive content. So what would make people happy? You know, it's things that are interactive and put your brand in a positive light during this time also. My point in blue here is kind of things we looked at previously with the crisis communications piece. So look at your communications channel you have with your existing clients, but also new. So do you have email? Do you have social media? Do you have paid, organic? Do you have social media direct via Messenger? Do you have live chat on your website? We've used SMS and text really quite a lot for a lot of clients throughout this, and we're finding a really good response rate. And also your PR and external. On to the paid aspect of things, we are finding with a lot of advertising revenue just now is that it costs less than ever right now to reach large audiences, but then at the same time, the usage in digital media is an all-time high. And I'm saying to clients all the time, take advantage of this. It's never going to be as potentially as low to advertise on some of these online and offline platforms as it is. Take that advantage and get a step ahead of your competition. And for example, social media is a key example of that. You know, there's been about a 50% increase in people using Facebook and on their phones. Their digital audience are huge, but the cost to advertise have lowered dramatically due to some of the bigger companies, such as travel companies, taking their budget out of that, which has lowered the cost to advertise. Some key things we've been looking at for clients throughout this, and starting to look now into this phase 2, helping them generate income leads and also leads pipelining for when they come out the other side, is lead generation campaigns, brand awareness and messaging campaigns to show that they're still open or that potentially they're doing something different online or virtual consultations. E-commerce and product campaigns, so driving traffic towards that shop window, targeted traffic. App download campaigns for your online ordering. But then again, it's all looking back to that customer journey of how they purchase online and how they go through that process, what details you need. We're also working with clients and helping them with a lot of marketing opportunities. The pandemic itself has actually presented a lot of marketing opportunities, and there's a lot of funds and opportunities that potentially clients that wouldn't have been able to access before can now. So there's the Ocean Outdoor Fund and the Clear Channel Fund, which is outdoor advertisement. Their digital boards throughout the UK. They've had about 10 million of what's free advertisement. I'll show you some examples of our clients that have taken advantage of that. And a lot of them are starting to kick in now, meaning their campaigns are actually running as people potentially are starting to come out the other side of lockdown or starting to move about a bit more. Facebook also released a COVID fund, which we're still waiting to hear a bit more information on the UK market, but we're starting to implement that into US and other countries, which was a range of cash or ad credits. Social media pricing has also dropped dramatically, and the cost to advertise because of some of these bigger companies, such as your travel companies and key markets, have been hit, removing budget, which has allowed the price to advertise even better. So for you guys, the users have went up and the cost to advertise has went down. Likewise with radio and TV, we are getting some brilliant radio campaigns for clients at the moment, which is all driving towards the digital offering. It's, you know, we might be physically closed, but we're open digitally. Download an app. Once again, their audiences went through the roof, but I've never seen on some of the radio pricing this week to have it so cheap. So that's a quick overview of some of the things we are doing and you guys can do to take advantage of. Kind of what I'm going to do is take you through some case studies of clients we've worked with. A couple of them I'll mention as well, being in partnership with MTC, so it's a good example. And also what some of these businesses have done in looking to combat that. So the team at Robertson Clare Interiors, they launched last year in November. They ran a social media campaign alongside their website during this COVID period, so 2 weeks ago. They've had 30 new leads following the back of that campaign at a cost of about £3 a lead. Off the back of that, they've had 2 confirmed jobs virtually. We've taken them through that customer experience journey of the planning process, measurements, the client's done it, they've had plans, and they've got 2 confirmed jobs now to come out the other side of this lockdown. The client actually phoned me yesterday and said, could you turn it off? We've got too many, could we turn it off and turn it back on in a couple of weeks till we catch up with them? So that was a first. So we've been targeting key pain points. So these guys are kitchen interior design. People are stuck in their house. They're looking at their kitchen. They're going, we need to get this done. We need to get it changed. We're looking at key pain points just now for their clients and helping them. So we had a free download guide of how to, top tips for interior design in your new home, of which is people have taken advantage of. The FAQ is an online consultation. The guys are also looking to do a key workers competition potentially. As a small thank you from them, they want to give something back. So I think they're going to give away a full kitchen to somebody that's a key worker. They've also taken advantage of the Ocean Outdoor campaign. So they've got outdoor advertising in Aberdeen, Edinburgh and Glasgow. They're looking at taking advantage of a radio campaign in the next 2 weeks to drive online sales and that e-commerce advantage. And they're also working with the guys just last week with myself and the guys at MTC. We're looking at doing e-commerce offer now. So it's the second phase of their site, and they're now looking to go direct to market, potentially with kitchen manufacturing throughout the UK, ordered online, but also some of their tiles, furniture, and different options. And they're looking at direct suppliers they have, but also some drop shipping models too for some of the furniture offering. So they're actually building an online business as well. So on the other side of this, they'll have the 2 businesses that complement each other. Another example was one that we had previously worked with. We'd set them up with all the systems and processes, and the client approached us back again and says, could you help us out during this time? We'd set them up previously about 3 years ago, an online booking system. Because they were a hair salon, hair and beauty salon, they couldn't physically operate right now. So we said everybody will be desperate to get their hair cut at the other end of this, and to help with cash flow and get some income in the business right now, we added a gift voucher system to their online booking system. That allowed clients to go on their website, order online with an online payment, buy 100, 20, 50, £100 voucher, and they could use that and redeem that at a later stage. As part of that, they'd get put on the priority list to get their hair cut at the other side of it. And it was a small thing to say, support your local business and help us during this time. We used emails, so existing clients of email, which allowed to reach 70% of their client base. We then followed that up with text, a text to all their clients, which allowed us to get to the 97. They did some social media content in-house. They were dealing with that part. We did a wee bit of direct for them, social media. They also have this, content, and we also suggested them to do some content to help clients. What problems might they have? Are they struggling to get their hair coloured? Is it lockdown cuts and colours? What's the best shampoo? So that the thing they've looked at was they were able to generate their weekly turnover in under 48 hours since launching the gift vouchers. So for them, that was huge. And it allowed them to also have a priority list of a pipeline of clients ready to go. Probably about a month's worth of work as soon as they got back, which allowed them to get staff ready and knew they were in what to go. They also can use it for future revenue, so they're continuing to shout about the gift vouchers, but they can also use this throughout the year at key birthdays, Christmas events, things. They're also looking at their product, taking their product online and potentially doing some deliveries, and they're also doing things such as their hair product and nail packs as local deliveries through their social media. Another example is Andrew Black Design. The guys at Andrew Black Design did this just right at the start of lockdown. They went out with the home extensions as a key point. This is a paid campaign targeted across Edinburgh, Fife and Dundee. And it was all based on the aspect that everybody's spending so much time. It's a pain point for them. They're in-house and pain point, and they're in their house just now. And it's, well, why move when you could extend? And we did an online guide for them, targeted key pay points. We done it at the start of lockdown. Once again, worked on their online consultation process. They've taken advantage of the Ocean Outdoor and the Clear channel for the outdoor advertisement. And from that, they managed to get 96 new leads over a month at a cost of £2.54. On average, their starting price for a home design starting at £8,000. So off the back of that campaign, they got 4 direct calls, 1 confirmed job just before lockdown, And then also, they're still to follow up the 96 leads. They're holding off till potentially the next couple of weeks when lockdown may start to ease, and then follow them clients up. So they've actually built their pipeline of 96 inquiries ready to go once their team are operational and the construction industry starts to move again. Another kind of key example is DLR, one of our clients we've been working with across kind of 3 sections of their business. And we've been working with MTC on this one, and also I should say the Robert Sinclair one was also working in partnership with MTC. So DLR, we've worked with DLR probably for about the last 2.5 years, also in partnership with MTC. They've built all their brand new website, and we've kind of taken them through a digital process over the last period. So this is a kind of key example, as Anthony said, as his quote at the start, DLR were actually in a very good position digitally to combat this. They were pre-prepped, so it was actually quite easy for us and the team internally to be able to flip things and operate during this time. So for their homes team, we've got them, they were already digital ready. Their website integrates with their CRM system. It's all on iPads, it's all remote, so their team could continue to service their clients remotely. We've changed our social media, so it's all been softened down at the start. It's less sales, content driven, and more community focused, and that we're still here and we can still help you. Here's our contact details. We introduced the mortgage helpline, which was with their mortgage supplier. So once again, it was helpful content towards clients. We were keeping clients updated with email marketing and updates. We're currently in talks with MTC again to help them do reservations online. So we're now looking at phase 2 and phase 3 of how the property market is going, and that somebody potentially doesn't have to come to the show house and reserve, but everything can be done through their website and an online platform. We're also working with a lot of clients, and something we invested in about 4 weeks ago was the 360 camera, which allows us to do the virtual viewings and 360 tours of different properties for estate agents. And it also allows them, something we've worked with them, is now we can send them out a cardboard cutout and VR goggles. Probably only cost them about £1. We're going to get them branded up. They can plonk them on, download their phone, and they can have a virtual view of every house type they have. So that's kind of taking the full customer experience and journey into people's houses and online. DLR internal, they had an intranet, company intranet already set up. That's been with the problem they had was they have around about 80 employees over 6 or 7 sites throughout Tayside and Fife at one point. So something we implemented last year was a company intranet that could be accessed anywhere on their phone throughout, anywhere, anytime, which has actually been a very big positive for them during this time, and it's really shown how well it can work to keep everybody communicated instantly, whereas before it had to go in a pay packet at the end of the month as a written letter. We've also been able to access the clients. The employees obviously had a monthly newsletter now, and they can also get text updates from some of the senior management team about key company updates. We've also been doing a lot of staff interaction, colouring competitions, what the team have been up to when they've been on furlough, been at home, and all that's been getting shared back via email marketing, email newsletters to all the staff, so they're still getting interaction from the company even though they're not on site or in the head office. We're also working with them now on a safety video and their comms for going back and being back on site. So we're working with clients now to help them develop a 30 or 90-second video of, similar to the Tesco advert, here's the precautions and here's what's happening as you're coming into our business. The third part is the DLR DIY app, which is something we're working with MTC just now, and it's getting built, which has allowed the DIY part of their business has always been there, but it's never been a growth part. And it's something we built their site, we kept it there, but we didn't do anything with it, and it was to be reviewed. DIY products, and as you can see from the B&Q and some of the big suppliers, has went through the roof with home improvements. We've seen this as an opportunity for them, and allowed us, what we're currently doing is building them an e-commerce website and app, which they can do. People can locally within Angus and Dundee can either do click and collect, or they can do home delivery, and somebody from the DIY centre deliver it all. They've also been able to expand their product range with direct suppliers and direct stock, and we've been working with the team to increase their stock over the last few weeks so they can supply this, and also looking potentially at a part drop shipping model for them too. So they use this as an opportunity as part of their business to kind of relaunch and relaunch that business. They're also looking at some of the low costs of radio advertising to help promote that app too. Here's just an example of somebody that took advantage of some of the features. So the Ocean Outdoor Scheme by the Housey Care Group were always keen to recruit for more staff, so they were able to get one in Glasgow, Paisley and Edinburgh, promoting their recruitment campaign all free of charge, which would normally have been thousands of pounds worth of advertising. Another couple of key examples of things that we're working with clients are both FC, Dundee Stars, and also Dundee Football Club on some of the key examples of, we're now in conversation with them, well, how's football going to be? If it's going to be behind a paywall, well, could we virtually live stream? We've got the live streaming facilities to help them live stream the game, but instead of them losing out on ticket revenue, there's a paywall in front of that and they pay per to watch. So they are still making revenue. We've got Lathallen School, who we're speaking with just now, and at the start of the week, of who are looking to do a virtual open day. Once again, both things are in partnership with NTC, and the virtual open day allows them to live stream their open day, which potentially people would have normally came and had a tour around the school. We can now do that direct to Facebook and online, as well as a landing page and experience online, which they would have had to physically go there. We're saying to them, use it as an opportunity. You can market this to international students now. So somebody in Houston who couldn't have potentially came to your open day at Lathallen can now sit online and watch it. So use this as an opportunity and try and look at it as positive as much as possible. That's some quick examples of things we're doing. We've got another one we're doing with MTC just now with St Andrew's Bid, which is taking 30 businesses from the high street and building them a digital high street. So people using the Hunger technology can click and collect or order to their home and still have that high street and shop windows at the touch of their door. And we're saying that's a huge advantage to help people at the other side of this shop local and get them into that method potentially 6 months down the line. They're still going to be shopping local instead of using potentially a national supermarket. So the adjusting consumer behaviour has changed dramatically. But if you can use that to your advantage as a company, it could be actually very beneficial at the other side of it. That's just a quick overview from myself. Happy to take any questions. Myself and the team, we're all working remotely. And now I'll pass back over to the guys at the chamber. So thank you very much.
Thanks very much. Thanks, Anthony, as well. Really interesting to hear from both of you. I think it's really interesting to see what local businesses have done, in a short period of time, to obviously help their business and continue to grow and develop over the last couple of weeks. So I know we've got a couple of questions. The first one's from Vary. Vary, do you want to unmute yourself and you can come in and ask your question?
Hi, yeah, I had a question regarding videos. So I'm currently making videos for universities, and I just wondered, is there an app that you could suggest to add like subtitles to the videos and also like translations that does it like automatically rather than having to sit and type it all in? Just a quick way. I just wondered if you knew of anything or anybody. Thanks.
Thanks, Harry. I think from a technology point of view, there's nothing there that allows automatic translation like that. There's a lot of services out there that you can utilise. We've used them a couple of times before. It would probably be in Daniel's realm in terms of the video editing and adding the subtitles. So I'll pass over to Daniel to take that from there.
So yeah, no, I think you guys hear me okay? Yeah, perfect. Yeah, spot on. So I think a quick one, we actually spent a bit of time figuring this out for us because we were adding subtitles to a lot of our clients' videos and it's taken ages to figure it out, type it through and get the content right. So a quick one we came up with is when you upload it to YouTube, you can actually automatically, and it takes what somebody says and transcripts it into wording for what they've said. It's not spot on every time, but the time it takes and the bulk of it can do the full video. You just go back and double check the grammar and double check the wording is right, and it then automatically assigns it to the video through YouTube. You can then download that as a file, and it doesn't just have to be used on YouTube. You could use it, put it in the back end of Facebook, and actually, instead of having the subtitles stuck to the video, it's only if somebody wants to turn the subtitles on or off. So if anybody's interested, I can get Peter, our production manager, to send over a couple of links on that, and hopefully it'll save you a bit of time.
Yeah, that would be great if you can send me some links. I'll send you my email after today. Thanks very much. That's great.
Yeah, in fact, Daniel, I'm sure there's many others on the call that would probably appreciate that information. So if you want to forward it on to me, then I can just send it on to everybody when it's ready, and then everybody can have a, because it'll certainly benefit quite a few people. Stuart, I know that you've got a question. I know you've also been dipping in and out, so I'm not entirely sure if you're still with us. If you want to unmute? It looks like you are.
Hi there, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Great, thank you. I had issues with my Mac, so I had to put it, which is why it probably looks like I'm in and out, but I have been here for most of it. Yeah, Sarah, you're probably, and Alison, you're probably sick of hearing me ask this question, but thanks very much, guys, for your presentation. One of the things that was going through my mind was what we can and can't do during furlough. So I work primarily in education, and obviously the schools are off just now. Both myself and my business partner, there's only two in my company, are furloughed. So we are trying to think hard about how to obviously keep ourselves in the minds of schools and people that we work with, as well as being ready to come back whenever the schools do come back. So all of your the website stuff and the social media presence, I'm getting the shakes right now, putting things on social media for someone to then say you shouldn't be doing that because you're furloughed. And as I said, I've asked this question before, and I'm not quite sure what we can and can't do. Interestingly enough, I had a colleague who we've got a date in the diary for in November ask if we can, instead of doing our work in person, if we can do a webinar for a load of newly qualified teachers, which is a completely new thing for us now, where we realise we have to change the way that we work because of the current situation. The basis of everything that we do is people working together. So getting teachers to get kids to work together right now is not at the forefront of everyone's mind. So I realise I've gone from one point to another here, but
no, it's all right. It's all right, sure. So I can't answer your question in terms of the furlough side of it. I would probably recommend that you speak to someone like legally about that. However, what we can say about like social media and marketing and things like that, quite a lot of this can be automated for you. So engaging with a digital partner such as DLR, MTC together, we can automate and manage and maintain quite a lot of that for you. So we do that for the vast majority of our clients. So what we would want to understand is how we can complement what you would want to do in-house. So right now we've got like a lot of customers who have their marketing teams fully furloughed right now. However, they're still sending out marketing messages because we were able to put those plans in place and schedule that all out. On your points in terms of what you're doing online, I think it is really key, and is like Daniel said, this is like the perfect opportunity to be reaching out to customers. Google research has shown that, and it's growing by the day, but at the last count it was 88% of customers expect to hear from like businesses during this time. So we're way past that stage of sensitivity around COVID, and actually it's detrimental to businesses not to be reaching out, because that then leads to the point that I made around 1 in 3 people are trying different brands during this time. Part of that is because their current brands or the current businesses that they work with haven't been reaching out. So they're left in limbo in the sense that, oh, is this business still around? I'm not hearing much from them, and they get blindsided, and then they choose a different brand, which again may lead to like future business for them later on down the line. In terms of education, your sector, like we are massively making an impact there. We're working with everything from one-man bands. So in a sense, is what I said about RG dance. Yeah, totally different like sector. However, it is still education in terms of what they're doing with their students and learning dance. But we're working from one-man bands all the way up to some of the universities in terms of bringing these classes online. I've got a lot of history and background in LMS systems, so learning management systems, as well, in different ways that you can deliver classroom-based learning or video-based learning, etc. And Daniel and his team over at DLR would like perfectly complement that as well. So again, it's just different ways that can complement your business. Actually bring you online and make sure you're trading during this time, but complement your business later on down the line, because yeah, you could be recording quite a lot of this stuff that you're like doing in terms of the classes. That can be accessed at any time. People are accessing education in completely different ways right now. So there is quite a lot of big opportunities during this time.
Thanks for that. One of the things that we really need to think hard about is, as I said, the basis of our everything we do is people working together. And in education, one of the key things in learning and teaching is that the teacher should be speaking for a very small amount of time, and the young people are the ones that should be interacting. So what we would try to do is practice what we preach when we deliver our training, which is handing over nearly everything to the participants. So like we would be saying, you know, we get the kids to work together, so we're going to do this with you guys as a teaching staff or as participants on our courses. So that's something, and I know that there are parts of Teams and Zoom where there's breakout rooms and things like that, and people can work together in that way. But the team building aspect of what we do, the social aspect of what we do is as at the forefront as the kind of task that they're trying to complete, or the academic side of things, if that makes sense. So yeah, it's a big challenge to think about, even virtually how we would be able to promote that. I think one of our biggest frustrations is, and a lot of teachers will agree, is that attending a training course in education and being spoken at for 2-3 hours on end is the biggest contradiction of the profession. Because people will be standing up saying for 3 hours, you can't stand up in front of your kids and speak for hours on end, because they can't keep their attention for that long. So we are really kind of struggling with the philosophy behind doing that ourselves, because if we were to do a webinar, that's essentially what we could be doing, is just standing up and speaking for an amount of time and contradicting what we said up until this point in all of our work, you know.
Yep, absolutely. I understand.
I think probably a couple of points I've got there for you, Stuart, would be, we've got a range of clients. So we've got something like, say, Anthony says, that some of our bigger clients and their full marketing teams furloughed, but we've been able to step in and help them during this time, even just keep their brand messaging out there. They can jump in now and again and just make sure they're on the right path. A lot of their emails can be automated. Even their sales process can be automated with some of the Facebook and social media bots. So really all it's then doing is building them a pipeline of leads, so when they come back, they're ready to go. But the customer's already been talked through, like there was a person there for a joinery company, can they get sizes and pictures, and everything's just prepped and just sitting. But I'd say probably a couple of things. So there's the outsource model for the meantime to help kind of smooth that piece over and keep the name and brand out there. There's also use this time to start building that content library. You know, so as long as you put it out there, you could sit and start building your marketing plan for 6 months' time. Use that time advantage to do it, or film your videos. A lot of this we're saying to clients is things that they wouldn't have time to do once they start running and going again at their business. So use it as an opportunity to do that. And then the third point I'd probably make is, I think maybe a good example, have a look at the guys' Insights. They're actually doing quite a lot of good kind of live virtual seminars and webinars, and they're very much about a people interactive based business. So you might be able to take some good tips from what the guys are doing on a global scale. Another good system we found good was Hopin for conferences and events. It was really interactive, one of the best I've seen yet, which allows you to have really lots of participation, lots of interaction, networking, different breakout rooms. So likewise, we're kind of Hopin, H-O-P-I-N, and it's been really good. And likewise, we're working with a couple of looking to work with some of the universities locally to take some of their conferences and events virtually. But they're using it as an opportunity again to expand their business. So it's maybe an opportunity to go into international markets of people that couldn't have all came to your course at one time, but collectively they can. So you can actually maybe present to more people.
Hi, can I just jump in and rain on your parade about the furlough, because I think you'll find that it's a no. You know, that when you're furloughed, you can't be kind of actively posting on social media. But what I would say is the Chamber's HR and legal helpline will give you a very definitive answer. So And that's, you know, so give us a shout if you want the details for just giving them a ring and just asking the question. I think it really ties in with something that we've been trying to push for, which is the furlough scheme, you know, has been announced that it'll be as is to the end of July, but you can then go part-time from, you know, August. And actually, if we could bring that forward and let people kind of be a bit more flexible with furlough, then I think that would really help the restart. So we're still trying very hard.
Thank you. I've put the link for Hopin. It's actually something that I think it's the second time in the last 7 days that Alison and I have heard about Hopin. So I think it's good to see that somebody else is recommending it, and it's not just not just one person. So yeah, it's certainly something that we've looking into for taking more of our events virtually. So yeah, I've popped that link in the chat there if anybody wants to have a nosy at it. Elaine, if you're still with us, I know you had a question that you wanted to ask. If you want to unmute yourself.
Hi there. Yes, I did. I'll be quick because I realise we're running on a bit. Thank you so much, both of you, for all your information and time tonight. Lots of great information. I'll just quickly hark back to Mary's question about the captions. Quick is an app that you can use that does it for you. Which can come at a cost, but it's very cost effective and it's really easy, and we use that all the time. And also on the furlough thing, I'm sure you can post on social media, because as long as you're not generating income, if you own that business, you can do the admin to keep that business ticking over, which can include communicating with your customers as long as you're not driving sales. I think that could be open to interpretation. But anyway, so my question was, if you had just one bit of advice to give a company that's got a brand that is online, but they wanted to grow it, but they just don't know what next step to take, what step would you recommend? To either Anthony or Daniel.
Do you want to go first, Anthony? Your suggestion?
Thanks, Daniel. Yeah, that's a really great question. So I would definitely think, just like going back to my point, that with 88% of customers wanting and feel it necessary to hear from businesses, it's down to communication and really getting that message out. That would be the main one, but ultimately then it comes down to what mediums do you use for that, and the kind of way that you come across for that as well. There always needs to be a reason, a justification for your messaging, not just for the case of making noise. So I think one way, or a clear way to help build your brand during this time, is to have a message that really connects and ultimately resonates with your customers during this time. How can you solve their problems, and really having some nice messaging around that, while also letting your customers know how COVID is affecting you as a business.
Thanks, Anthony. I think probably one point I would probably initially in my head, no matter B2C or B2B businesses, the first thing, we've been doing that recently for a lot of clients, is just they're thinking ahead, their 12-month plans went out the window, and we've just been doing a little one-pagers, quick wins, 5 points. It's here's 5 things you need to go away and do them to get sales and potentially in the door tomorrow. It's not thinking 12 months in advance. It's what can we do to keep it cash generating. And I'd say definitely, the first thing that comes to mind is social media, and it's paid social media campaigns. It's quick, it's effective. You can roll it out quickly. You can judge exactly the spend you're getting back, and you can get the sales back as quick as possible. It's kind of taking that shop window to exactly a targeted audience of where you want to be. And that sometimes with companies, if they've not got even in the process of getting an online presence, they can use social media, paid social media campaigns, just to get them going in the meantime and get leads or inquiries or sales or something going. But then it all comes down to getting that targeting and that campaign really quite spot on, because Google and Facebook, and they're brilliant tools to do, but if they're not done rightly, they will just churn your cash up and potentially not give you the best results. So sometimes you have to really be quite looking at your campaign and make sure once it's targeted and detailed and properly done, you should, as I always like to say, you want to build a campaign that's if you spend £3, every £3 you're spending, you're getting your 30 back, and you'll happily keep spending £3 and £3 and £3, and once you've got that on and off switch as such.
Great, thank you very much, chaps.
Very welcome.
Okay, so I think I'm conscious of time, and it looks like I think that's all the kind of questions we had, unless anybody wants to put their hand up and have like that one last burning question. But what we will do is, happily kind of share, if you guys are happy, share your contact details. Sarah will put out the usual kind of message after the session and let everybody know. But yeah, it's been really interesting. It's like Stu says, it does make you itch to go, right, okay, what should we be doing? What's everybody else doing? Yeah, I'm sort of writing a list of things that, so like even just daft things, like I think you're right, like bringing your people in your brand to life is really interesting and important, isn't it? And I've seen some brilliant things, whether it's been Alexander Community Development and their video that they had about them packing all their food parcels, or we've been the chamber team, just to sort of slightly mix up our team meetings in the morning. We've been theming, so we started off, everybody wore a hat, and then one day it was 80. So we've been sharing some of these pictures, but yeah, it just kind of humanises your brand a bit, doesn't it? Which is good. But yeah, so thank you so much. Super interesting. I guess Sarah's brilliant because she always gives me a script, which is wrap up, say thank you, and remember and tell everybody about what else we've got coming up. So I know I've already spoken about the webinars that we've got on this week. So please have a wee look at those and kind of join in. Next week, we're ahead of the game and kind of got a couple of webinars already up. One of them actually we're doing in partnership with Carrick Management. So we've been supporting them with a series of webinars, and on Tuesday next week in the morning, it's time to kind of look at how are your business minds being developed at this time. So I think that actually really fits in with some of the things we've been talking about. Definitely fits in with mental health and what I've seen a lot of people talking about this week, which is look after yourself, but also don't forget to kind of be developing what you're doing. So you can certainly do loads of that while you're furloughed, that's for sure. So lots of interesting things coming up. And we've also got a webinar next week, which is one of the chamber ones, which is about looking at culture, communication and currency. So let's try and drop the COVID C, but look at some of the other ones that are around. So yeah, that'll be looking at how are you communicating across different cultures, and also if foreign currency is something that you'd be interested in thinking about, then again, that's kind of something that we can be telling you about and you can be planning for the future. So that's all that there is from me. I just again a massive thank you to the guys for speaking this evening, Sarah for organising us so well, and for you turning out and listening, and hope you got lots out of that. I've really found it really interesting. So thanks very much. Catch up with you at another session. See you soon. Thanks, folks.
Thanks.